Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on Sri FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. 4 aspirants pick up forms within an hour of opening of nominations to contest vacant Tamale Central seat after demise of MP Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed. We're live in Tamale to bring you the latest. Also, Public Accounts Committee raises eyebrows over a 72% increase in the rent repayment of the Youth Employment Agency. And much later, Global Info Analytics project a paltry 14% for NPP presidential aspirant Kennedy Japan in January's flag bearer contest. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, the offices of the National Democratic Congress in Tamale is bustling with activities as nominations officially opened today for prospective aspirants to pick form for the upcoming Tamale Central Parliamentary primary. The governing party has slated September 6, 2025 to elect a candidate for the Tamale Central by-election scheduled to take place on 30th September. Remember that the Electoral Commission declared the seat vacant following the tragic death of the incumbent Member of Parliament Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed in a helicopter crash. This afternoon, correspondent Christopher Amuakon is reporting that 4 aspirants have already picked their forms within 1 hour after nominations opened. Let's listen to exactly what he's saying.
Nominations forms for them, but I can confirm that so far 4 individuals have successfully picked their nomination forms to contest in the September 6th parliamentary primaries for the NDC.
And do we know who they are? These four who've picked up the forms, do we know who they are?
Yes, so we have Dr. Mohammed Seydou Peter, a lecturer at the University for Development Studies. We also have a former mayor of Tamale, that is Honorable Kundado. That is how he's known here in the Tamale Enclave. We also have an executive member of the National Council, that is former secretary of the NDC in the Northern Region, lawyer Rao, has also successfully picked his nomination. And the female is one, Honorable Monica, who also sent someone to come and pick the nomination forms on her behalf. So that is the 4 so far who have successfully picked their nominations. We understand that more are yet to come because the list that have shown interest, more of them are yet to come and pick their nomination forms.
Just quickly, Christopher, we understand that 4 picked, but there are some who are raising concerns. What are these concerns that they've been speaking to you about?
Yes, so Mawena, initially there were these allegations that the NDC as a party is going to settle on someone to come and contest the elections without going through the primaries. But when the forms came out, some executives allegedly are roaming in town meeting delegates with one of the aspirants. And so the other aspirants are raising concerns that they want the process to be free and fair because the Election Directorate has indicated that they should be cautious of their utterances during the campaigns that they go about. And so they are also saying that the Election Directorate and the executives to ensure that the elections are free and fair. Let's take a listen to what one of them has been saying.
And we don't have that, but you had Christopher Mwakon interacting with Mawena Egbeta, giving us an update on what's happening ahead of the NDC's parliamentary primary for the Tamale Central election, by-election, which has been slated for the 30th of September as declared by the Electoral Commission. And I'm sure you heard him there, that UDS lecturer has picked a form, a former Tamale mayor, and 2 others. And in the 4, it includes 1 woman who have all expressed interest in contesting that seat. Let's listen to the person Christopher Mwakun was talking about us speaking to him earlier.
That was 2018-2019. Yes, and he became victorious. We moved ahead, we supported him, then he won. And in the last elections, he went unopposed. We felt 4 years was not enough for him to deliver. But God has his way of doing things.
Let's come back to Accra. And the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has raised eyebrows over a 72% increase in the rent payment of the Youth Employment Agency from 3.2 million Ghana cedis to 5.5 million Ghana cedis between the year 2023 and 2024. Management of YEA states that the rent payment started when the facility it currently occupies was handed over to Messrs. K&A developers as private managers by the Ministry of Works and Housing in 2023. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, the leadership questioned management of the YEA over its silence on the surge in the rent payment. The Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opariado, announced an engagement with the Office of the Chief of Staff to find a permanent accommodation for the Youth Employment Agency as part of efforts to tackle the high cost of rent. Let's listen to what he said before we bring you an update from the committee sitting today.
That the CEO and myself have engaged with the Chief of Staff's office in respect to permanent accommodation for the YE, and we are working on that. And so I believe in due time we will report to this August House what plans have been made and what facilities have been allocated to us so that the YE can move into a more permanent premises, and then we'll do away with the rent issues. Thank you.
And you had the Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opariado. Christian Yale is my colleague monitoring the PAC sittings. He joins us live on the line. Chris, we also do understand that you engaged the YEA CEO. Exactly what did he say?
Exactly, Beatrice. And so he has been speaking at length, giving more information about some beneficiaries who are working under different modules that fall under the Youth Employment Agency. Notable among them is those who are working under the sanitation module, and even those who fall under the community police and the rest. He gives an update that as of now, the YEA, after performing some validation exercises, has been able to pay some 2 months arrears owed to these beneficiaries, albeit those who have not, been to the validation or gone through the validation will not be part of the disbursement of the payment for these 2 months arrears. He even mentions, for instance, that in the next 1 or 2 weeks, they are planning on disbursing another 2 months arrears to these beneficiaries. He makes the point that he is even advocating that their, allowances are increased at least to the minimum wage that every Ghanaian is supposed to receive. That Beatrice, the other conversation, which is about the Zoom Lion contract, is one that came up during my engagement with him, and we asked the question whether the YEA is thinking or considering a possible renewal of contract with Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, and he mentions that it is a decision that Cabinet must take, and for which matter a committee has been put in that respect, put up to consider this. And once Cabinet makes any decision, YEA is going to work with it. But he's also proposing at least some 300% increase for these beneficiaries, especially those who were under the sanitation module working under the Zoom Lion Ghana.
Very much. Like I said, I assumed office to meet assets and liabilities. When I came into office, we're owing some beneficiaries 1 month, some 2 months, and I decided that in order to avoid the payment of persons who were not actively working, various beneficiary audits were conducted to ascertain the fact that whoever we were supposed to pay was indeed a push. And right after that audit, we realized that some, due to one or two reasons, advocated for. Of course, we cannot use the taxpayers' money to pay persons who are not actively working on fraud. And so the validation was conducted, the audit was conducted, and we got the real number of persons on grounds. And like I told the committee yesterday, we approved payments of 2 months for persons who have been validated. And so let me state emphatically that whoever has not gotten their 2 months payment was not validated and was not at fault, and that person can challenge us anywhere, because once or not, we cannot pay. And so the coming weeks we'll pay the balances of persons. But this time we're going to ensure that strict measures are taken. Remember the case of the National Service Secretariat, where persons are purported to have been paid monies they did not deserve. And we don't want that to happen at YEA. You all know me.
And you heard the CEO of the YEA, Malik Basintale. Christian Yale is still on the line with us. Chris, very briefly, are you able to tell us what more we should expect from the PAC sittings today?
Exactly, Beatrice. So a number of ministries, departments and agencies are expected. Yesterday, for instance, we were to expect the Education Ministry, which could not show up. It is expected that the ministry, together with 8 assigned agencies, would appear before the Public Accounts Committee today to answer questions in relation with the Auditor General's 2024 report. As we speak right now, there are some agencies under the Youth Empowerment, Youth Development and Empowerment Ministry, which are before the committee answering questions as contained in the Auditor General's report. And so it is just expected to be a very lengthy day, because a number of the schedules for yesterday were moved to today, so it won't be like a double work sort of for the committee, but we keep eyes on what transpires here.
Thank you very much, Christian Yale, reporting live from Parliament, where the Public Accounts Committee is currently sitting and meeting heads of institutions and agencies. Some 13 minutes past the hour of 12. When we come back, we'll bring you more regarding what the Education Minister, Haruna Iddrisu, has been saying. Don't go away.
Everyone, prices continue to drop at Electroland Ghana Limited. CDA Picky promotion on Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO Electronics. Get a NASCO 24-inch LED flat for $899 Ghana cedis. Starting from 2,999 Ghana cedis, you can get 6 kg NASCO washing machine plus a free gas stove. And the Media Inverter 1.5 HP R410 Unicool split comes with a free blender. And when you purchase 65, 75, and 85 TCL QD Mini LED 4K TVs, you will get a free TCL FHD Smart Android TV. Now buy a Samsung 578, 582, and 636-liter side-by-side refrigerators and walk away with free microwave grill. Go to our showrooms and dealer stores across Ghana now. Call 050-315-9739 or www.electrolandgh.com for inquiries.
Now, the Minister for Education, Haruna Iddrisu, says the government is weighing whether to continue funding both feeding and fees for students in training colleges under the new no-fee policy program. He explains that such dual support risks training budgetary allocations and could result in duplication of payments for trainees who are already beneficiaries of teacher trainee allowances. The Minister raised the concern while inaugurating the Councils of Colleges of Education in Accra. He also said that the government is already committing huge sums across the education sector and called for broader consultations to avoid overlap in expenditure.
I think that we should have a national conversation. We cannot elevate and upgrade you into university colleges and still have the issue of feeding students. The other day I said it. However unpopular it may be, I take responsibility for every policy decision that I take on behalf of government. if you are a university, you are a university. And if you are elevated into a university, we will not breastfeed you. So the mothers are here. It's for good reason that when the baby get into some toddler position, you wean the baby of breast milk. Let's have a national conversation. If we have to improve the allowances, we improve it. So, Director General, just take note of this matter as I bring it to the public. Teacher trainee allowances we are paying. And Professor Joe, the Honorable Atu just drew my attention to it. So, we are paying teacher trainee allowance. So, if they were first year students who are going to tertiary institutions, they are also paying their no fee stress. What do we do to avoid the duplication of it? So I'm taxing the two of you to look into it.
And you heard the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, and we do apologize for the poor quality of that sound. You're still here on the Midday News on Shri FM 92.7. Stay with us.
A journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire, come forward. Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Get ready for the revolution. What you say now?
I just wanna praise you.
3FM.
King of kings and Lord of lords, lover of my soul, Jehovah, one and only God. I am Jesus Christ, the Holy Lamb. They come for you are, they come for you are, they come for you are.
What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your Inspirational Gospel Mix, a moment to get inspired.
And you're still here on the Midday News on Shri FM 92.7. Now, the National Youth Organizer of the governing National Democratic Congress, Joseph Yamin, has raised alarm over the conduct of anti-Galamsey task forces operating in parts of the Ashanti region. Addressing residents of Obontiso in the Amansia West District, Yamin alleged that some of the task force teams are harassing and extorting licensed small-scale miners under the guise of combating illegal mining. He said the proliferation of unauthorized and overlapping groups had worsened in recent months, with uncoordinated operations sparking tensions in mining communities. Yamin is appealing to President John Mahama to intervene and suspend the activities of these task forces until proper regulations and coordination are ensured. There's a report filed by Evans Income.
His comments followed recent clash at Manso Bonteso by residents and Inspector General of Police Special Anti-Galamsey Task Force. The incident happened after the task force seized a packed excavator. Yamin believes the operations is unregulated, uncoordinated, and opened the door for some imposters.
Task forces can never be said as fighting illegal mining, but rather extorting monies and creating problems.
He appealed to the President, John Dramani Mahama, and the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tetayono, to withdraw all the police anti-task force from the mining communities. Meanwhile, the Ashanti chapter of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Frank Osei, said the association supports the government effort to clamp down on illegal mining, particularly within protected areas such as forest reserves and river bodies.
And yet, the appendix helicopter Bashiasi. Moshe car accident ACCCC. And to pay for her, premium, and to come for pressing beyond two from. No more pressure. They are not to feel coma. They are her, and
the current approach has become chaotic and counterproductive.
And you heard Northern Bureau Chief William Evans Income with that report. Now, political research firm Global Info Analytics says MPP flag bearer in the 2024 general elections could win the next primaries in January next year with 52%, while his closest rival, Kennedy Japan, will garner a paltry 17%. It also predicted that the current General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodia, will retain his role as General Secretary, while John Boadu is leading in the race for chairmanship with 32%. Let's bring you some more on this. We're joined on the line now by the Executive Director of the research firm, Musa Dankwa. Good afternoon to you, sir. It's great to have you this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It looks like Dr. Baumia has stretched his lead, 17% for Canadian Japan, who we all thought will slug it out with Baumia. That's quite surprising.
Thank you very much for having me. You can't use the word stretch because this is the first delegate poll we have done. So it is the baseline for us, the first poll among delegates. But it shows he's 52%. Kennedy on 17%. And Brana Champon on 3%. And Edichum on 1%. But you have 18% who are undecided. And another 9% who say they will not tell us who they intend to vote for. But historically, we have come to know that those who say they won't tell us who they will vote for, they end up voting for Kennedy Agyapong.
Interesting. And there's another surprising outcome, which is, of course, from your poll, a commanding lead by the current General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodia. Saying surprising because you've monitored the political discussions where people seem to be not too satisfied with the current leadership. What accounts for this?
Yes, I mean, there's a disparity between the views of ordinary MPP voters and delegates. Indeed, if you look at the poll that we just published, when we did ask them whether they share the view that there should be a wholesale changes at the top of the party, 48% of the respondents or delegates said no. Only 30% said yes. So it presupposes that these guys don't want any changes to happen in the party hierarchy.
Let me ask you this before you go. The Ashanti Regional Chairman Ntribo Esiakon is said to also be challenging John Boadu with a decent 23% for the chairmanship role. Are you able to still tell us as well what could be, influencing these numbers you witnessed in this poll you did?
Look, in the case of a chairmanship, I think the answer may lie in the analysis of the demography of MPP delegates. Now, if you look at the MPP delegates, over 73% of them are above the age of 45 years. And these views of these people are very conservative. They tend to like what they see. They kind of represent the candidate they are voting for. So you would understand that in such a situation, going to mix is doing well. For me, it's not surprising, but for many, it is surprising.
To many, it will be surprising. I heard you say that you cannot describe it as a stretch because this is just your first poll. Should we expect more, and should we anticipate that the result could slightly change ahead of the January primary by the MPP?
Look, we have, I think, 3 more to go. We will do another one in October, another one in December, and the final one within the month of January before they go to polls. So we will have a series of polls coming out. You will expect some changes as the campaign heats up. Now, this poll probably may provide the candidate with a bit of clue as to what they need to do. And when they start doing that, you may see some shifts in the numbers.
So is it likely that the poultry number or percentage of 17% for Kennedy Japan could change?
Look, if you look at Dr. Baumia, he's just 2% above the 50% plus 1. So he must not be comfortable with where he is. Really, when you have 18% who are undecided and another 9% who said they won't tell us who they would vote for.
Thank you very much. And you heard Musa Dankwa, he's Executive Director of research firm Global Info Analytics. Let's return to the Ashanti region now, where the Ghana Journalists Association Ashanti Regional Chapter is headed back to the polls today for a closely watched chairmanship election rerun. This new vote comes after the previous election process was challenged by other contestants following formal allegations of electoral irregularities. Ibrahim Abubakar is my colleague in the Ashanti region. He joins us live on the line. Ibrahim, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, Beatrice, as I speak to you, we are waiting for 5 more people to come and cast their ballots before counting the days. In fact, it will end around 3 p.m., but if the 5 come before 3 p.m., it's possible they will go on with the counting. But I can tell you that this contest is quite fierce because when you look at the June 30 election, the margin of vote between the winner and the one who came second was just 1 vote. And 32 people were expected to vote. 31 voted on June 30. But later, there was a petition by one of the contestants who said one of the voters was not eligible to have cast her ballot in Kumasi, but rather in Accra. And looking at the vote margin, 1 vote, the election committee had to resolve that a new vote be done for only the chairmanship slot. So people are here, people high stakes, and we are just hoping that by 3 p.m. all 31 would have cast their ballots for the counting to begin and the eventual winner to be declared.
And Ibrahim, before you go, would you kindly remind us again of the individuals involved in this race and what their reactions have been?
For the chairmanship, we have 2 people contesting. Love FM, Insha FM, editor, and also Gina, who is with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. And in fact, all of them are quite confident that they will be able to win the election because looking at the vote margin, 1 vote difference, and they have done their campaigns very well. But they are just hoping that this new process will be done in a fair, free and fair manner so that at the end of the day, when the declaration is made, everyone will be satisfied and also accept the result. You still find some media people around here, various camps. The GJ president himself, Albert Jumfo, was here. He left here some few minutes ago. There were also concerns which were raised some few minutes ago regarding proxy. Others were challenging why a campaign manager of one of the candidates had to stand in as proxy and vote for a voter who is out of the country. But that one has been resolved because the GJ President Albert Jumfo is saying that is the discretion of the voter. He decides who he should appoint to vote for him, and for that matter, he doesn't see that as any challenge. The EC officials have also understood, all candidates have understood, and voting is currently ongoing smoothly.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar, Ashanti Regional Correspondent. Now, in the next few days, the Minister for Communications, Sam George, will meet the leadership of the Postal and Courier Services regulations to discuss awareness creation of the need for courier riders to be licensed. We'll bring you some more in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News this afternoon. Log on to SriNews.com for more news.
Journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday, from 12:30 p.m. till 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Moa Fire, Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Esinu Aja. Coming up, Ghana Union of Traders Association urges Bank of Ghana to act swiftly in ensuring timely forex availability as cedi losses to 4.2% value against the dollar in August alone.
BOG must also be proactive in meeting the needs of local trade in terms of forex requests.
Also, economist urges government to strengthen local content as Ghana scraps minimum capital requirements for foreign investors.
We need to find a way that we will improve local content to benefit from FDI.
These stories and others lined up for you. Please stay tuned. The Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, is calling on Bank of Ghana to take proactive steps to curb the cedi's depreciation against major trading currencies, especially the US dollar. According to GUTA, while the recent marginal depreciation does not pose an immediate threat to trading activities, ensuring the timely availability of foreign exchange on demand will help manage speculations and safeguard the local currency for further decline. The cedi currency, which opened trading in August at 10 cedis 51 pesos to the US dollar, is now selling at 10 cedis 95 pesos, reflecting a depreciation of about 4.2% in just 1 month. Charles Kusi Apia Kubi is the head of Business and Economic Bureau of GUTA.
This is a period most of businesses are making provisions for the Christmas goods. So demand is high now. And of course, anytime demand is high, you expect some level of surge in terms of the forex. But the good news is that we've been assured we have a lot of forex reserve to meet our import and export demand for the next 4.8 months ahead of us. It's still within the expected range of the forex, which the president said between 10 to 12. So 10.95 is not so much for us to cry over. We should manage the expectation, and probably BOG must also be proactive in meeting the needs of local trade in terms of forex requests, so that we do not feed into negative speculation, which of course will also have a tendency of causing forex hikes.
In a related development, the Ghana Union of Traders Association GUTA has commended the Bank of Ghana for its decision to ban large corporates from making cash withdrawals of foreign currency without matching deposits. According to the central bank, the practice has been exerting undue pressure on the foreign exchange market and undermining efforts to stabilize the cedi. The head of GUTA Business and Economic Forum, Charles Kusi Apia Kubi, welcomed the move and urged the central bank to sustain the directive as a safeguard for local businesses.
Most of the time, we are always at the losing end, because at the time that we need forex to meet our trade transactions, it's been swallowed already by these multinationals. So when BOG is asking multinationals to make corresponding forex available for their transactions, I think it's in the right direction. And in that way, it will help the local businesses also able to do transaction within the forex market without stress. It brings some level of stability within the market. It reduces the stress, the pressure that at the time of forex demand we put on the little reserve that we have for ourselves as a country. Our prayer is able to do this to the latter, so that there can be some level of sanity within the forex market and bring some kind of relief to us in terms of importing.
That was Charles Kusi Apia Kubi, the head of Business and Economic Bureau at GUTA. Now, the financial economist, Dr. Eric Beatrice Adu, is urging government to put in place stronger local content measures to ensure Ghana fully benefits from foreign direct investment inflows. This follows President John Dramani Mahama's announcement in Tokyo that government will scrap the minimum capital requirements for foreign investors as part of reforms to the GIPC Act, a move aimed at positioning Ghana as a more open and competitive investment hub. While welcoming the decision, Dr. Yadom insists deliberate strategies must be adopted to safeguard local businesses and ensure meaningful participation of Ghanaians in the investment space.
In our domestic economy, whatever we need to do to attract local efforts, I think it's in the right direction. And this is what we've been calling for, that government will be able to make it easy for foreigners to come in. FDI has in and out of the country. So we need to be able to put in measures so that we can benefit before they make the profit and they ship it out. Like if we take many Chinese countries that are in Ghana, the Chinese man owns, let's say, a bitumen, a cement, another Chinese company owns a cement factory, another produces iron rod, the other owns a restaurant. The money moves within these foreigners, and at the end of the year, they move the money in the form of profit to their home country or parent company. We need to find a way that we will improve local content to benefit from FDI. Other than that, there will just be a pass-through effect, and the country will not benefit much.
That was Dr. Beatrice Adu, a financial economist and a senior fellow of the African Policy Lens. Now to our next story. The Ghana Revenue Authority has reiterated its commitment to making tax payments more convenient and accessible through the use of innovation and technology. The head of authority's Customer Experience Unit, Dr. Brago Adu, speaking at GRA's 2025 Customers Experience Conference in Accra, emphasized that the authority will continue to roll out innovative solutions aimed at easing the tax payment process for individuals and businesses.
Technology is an enabler, but we'll still follow the human beings to use the technology wisely and appropriately to help our taxpayers. So in GRA, that's just the model that we have employed. It's a strategy we have employed to ensure that we have come out with so many digital platforms and the use of technology, just so that it makes it easier for our taxpayers to comply. As we mentioned, it is our desire, our vision, that the payment of taxes should be as easy as possible. So that's what we aim to do with the institution, bringing aboard digital platforms, technology, just so that taxpayers find it easy. Nobody likes to pay taxes, we know that. But we should not make the process also very tasking. So using technology is one of the customer experience tools that we are employing to make it easy for our taxpayers.
That was Dr. Brago Adu, the head of Customer Experience Unit at GRE. That will be all for Business Daily. For more stories, please check out our website on 3news.com. My name is Esinu Ajab.